I am a simple man. I like me some good gaming. I especially like me some good old delicious plate of a well-written, fresh narrative, alongside a small amount of gourmet subversion of expectations, and finally, to top it all off, a nice cup of surprise factor to wash everything down.
This some serious gourmet shit.
Actually, let me correct myself there. I don't just like it when games subvert my expectations. No. When games do that, they complete me. However, you know what I don't like? You wanna know what can suck a huge throbbing cock? Cookie cutter bullshit stories with no motivating factors, no risks, and of course, no surprises.
A month ago, maybe, I felt something. Something I hadn't felt in a long time.
A couple of my friends and I were basically chilling one day, talking about games, you know, the usual. And I was basically ranting like an idiot at 6 AM about how I don't enjoy the industry standard anymore. Not all of it, but most of it. Anyways, at the end of that conversation, I said that I don't like it when games treat me like a mindless zombie, and I'm pretty sure nobody else does as well. Of course, there are some games that are designed to blow off some steam, ones that you can turn your brain off and enjoy and relax to. However, we're not talking about those. Those are a whole different story. We're talking about games where the story side of the game, alongside lore and world building, actually matters. A great example of a game that does exactly what I want from games is a masterpiece that I hold very close to my heart, and it's the first game that came up to my mind when I was thinking about making this video. It's none other than Hotline Miami 2, a game that upon starting up, you are deep inside the ocean. You are lost. You cannot tell where this game is going, and the best part about it is that it makes sense. The events of the game actually make sense. They don't open up any major plot holes. They don't just shock the player for the sake of shocking the player. On top of that, it's all well-written dialogue. And that is coming from a game that has, oh, what's that? Yeah, zero voice acting. Here, let me give an example. One of my favorite stories in the entire game, hell, in gaming history in general, is the story of the henchman. To provide the impact that the game managed to pull off on me, we need to hit you with some context. The henchman is a character that you only play as once in the entire game, that one time being his last job. He's a member of the Russian mafia, the same dudes that you shot, sliced, and basically annihilated in every way possible in the first game. So the henchman's deal is that he wants out of the mob. He's done. He feels as if death is gonna catch up to him if he keeps going down this road. So the leader of the Russian mob sends him, as I said before, on one last mission, that upon accomplishing, the henchman gets out and earns his freedom. The first time I played this mission, my thoughts were, oh, come on man, I don't want to play as this loser dude, I want to play as the badass people, you know, the fans, you know? Yeah, Tony, Corey, Mark, Ash, and Alex, those guys. How foolish I was. As you continue playing, you begin to see the other side of the story that you never really thought about before. All those Russian guys you killed in the first game, they all had their own perspective on the story, just like the henchman. But well, the player never really cared about this. You and me just kept on killing and killing and killing and whoopa! What the game is basically doing here is that it's humanizing the antagonists of Hotline Miami 1. So in the end, the henchman ends up clearing the job, gets his freedom, runs into a bag full of money, and goes back to his girlfriend. He tells her that he finally quit his job and he has a surprise for her once he wakes up. And then he heads to sleep. The henchman is then shown living his dream, driving into the sunset with a fancy new car and a pile of money. Happy ending, yes? Wrong. This fantasy the henchman is living gets broken up immediately by Richard giving him that sweet, or should I say, bitter slice of life, then snapping the henchman back into reality. He wakes up with the money gone, the car gone, and a note from his girlfriend saying, "You would have done the same." After what just happened, the henchman falls into a deep hole of emptiness. This desperation leads him to take a sample of a new product given to him by his boss, and that causes him to lose sense of everything. At this point, you can't help but feel bad for the guy. I mean, in the matter of one day, his life went from king shit to losing everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. The story does not end there. God, I wished it stopped there. You remember the fans? You know, the cool guys that I, like everybody else, wanted to play as earlier? Well, They wanna be like Jacket, you know, they wanna fuck some Russians up. That's their goal. They fucking hate these people. So they get a call from a friend pointing them to their next job, a Russian mob member in a club. And yeah, I guess you know where this is going. So I got what I wanted. I'm playing as the fans again. However, it's not exactly what I wished for, because now I'm supposed to clear out the same building that the character I just connected with is sitting inside. If you ask me, I think what the developers did here is brilliant. And it's done simply to dig that knife deeper and make it so that the impact of what is about to happen can hit even harder. After clearing out what is one of the best levels in terms of both gameplay and music, the fans regroup to the room where the henchman is sitting in, and I'll just let this one play out. The calm transition from the last hit to the score screen is really what sells this moment. After witnessing what just happened, I had so many thoughts in my head to the point where I had nothing to say honestly. I was just sitting there completely still for a solid 5 minutes thinking about what just happened. I went from cheering up the fans to siding with the henchmen in the matter of one chapter. One chapter! Such a genius move by the developers. I wasn't expecting none of this. It just happened. Hotline Miami 2 just tossed the player in a blender of emotions, out of nowhere. This right here is exactly what I want from games. As I said at the start of the video, I don't want to feel like a mindless zombie. I want to enjoy a well-written story that gets me thinking, that gets me to say holy shit, what the fuck just happened. A game that would get me to say something like I would have never been able to come up with something like that. And finally, I want games to surprise me.